What do you think will happen when JavaScript executes this line of code? Most beginners would say it calls the function, and that's true. But how does JavaScript find the function? How does the value John get into the parameter? And how does JavaScript know where to return after the function finishes executing? If you can't answer those questions yet, don't worry. By the end of this lesson, you'll have a solid understanding of how functions work behind the scenes. But before we dive into all of that, let's start with a simple example and get familiar with the syntax. Imagine an online store is offering a discount on a product. To calculate the final price after the discount, we need two pieces of information: the original price of the product and the discount percentage. With that in mind, let's create a simple function that calculates the discounted price. In JavaScript, we use the function keyword to define a function. After the function keyword, we write a descriptive name for the function. Since our function calculates a discounted price, let's call it calculateDiscountedPrice. Next, we add a pair of parentheses. Inside the parentheses, we specify the inputs that the function needs to perform its task. In our case, that's the product's price and the discount percentage. So, we write them separated by a comma. Finally, we add a pair of curly braces. The first line, which contains the function name and inputs, is called the function header. The code inside the curly braces is called the function body. The function body contains the instructions JavaScript executes whenever the function is called. Right now, the function body is empty because we haven't added any code yet. So, let's add some code inside the function body. Here, we need to calculate the final price after the discount. To do that, we subtract the discount amount from the original price and store the result in a variable called finalPrice. Then we'll display the result using console.log. And just like that, we've created our first JavaScript function. But there's one important thing to understand. Defining a function doesn't execute it. It simply tells JavaScript, here's a function you can use later. To actually run the function, we need to call it. To call a function, we write its name followed by parentheses. Inside the parentheses, we provide the values we want to use. This tells JavaScript to calculate the price of a product that costs $100 with a 20% discount. When we run the code, the output is 80. Perfect, our function works. But to really understand functions, let's walk through exactly what JavaScript is doing behind the scenes. When JavaScript starts executing the code, the first thing it encounters is the function definition. At this point, JavaScript doesn't perform any calculations. Instead, it stores the function in memory. It remembers the function's name, its parameters, and the code inside its body. Then, JavaScript continues executing the rest of the program. The actual execution happens when JavaScript reaches this line. This line tells JavaScript to execute the function using 120 as inputs. In programming, we call this a function call. The values passed into the function are called arguments. So in this case, 120 are arguments. The variable names in the function header are called parameters. So price and discount are parameters. When the function is called, JavaScript assigns the arguments to the parameters. So price equals 100 and discount equals 20. Once the arguments have been assigned to the parameters, JavaScript begins executing the function body. So, it performs the calculation and gives us 80 as the result. Finally, JavaScript runs this line and the result to the console. Great! I hope now you have a better understanding of how JavaScript executes a function. Now, although our function works, there's an important design improvement we can make. In programming, there's a principle called the single responsibility principle. It means a function should do one thing and one thing only. That's because when a function tries to do too many things at once, it becomes hard to understand, maintain, and reuse. Additionally, each function should have a name that clearly describes what it does. For example, if we look at our function name, it sounds like the function should calculate a discounted price, but it also displays the result. That means the function is doing two jobs. That's not ideal. A better approach is to let the function focus only on calculation. So let's move the console.log statement to the main program. Now the function only returns the result. This makes our code cleaner and more flexible. For example, in the main program, we might want to show the price along with a currency. So here, let's create a variable called currency and set it to USD. Then we can display the final price together with the currency. To do that, I'm going to use a template string. This gives our program a cleaner and more organized structure. But if we run this code, we get an error. Reference error, final price is not defined. Why does this happen? This is where scope comes in. JavaScript organizes variables using scopes. Variables created outside functions belong to the global scope. This variable is available throughout the program. That means they can be accessed anywhere in the program. However, variables created inside a function belong to a local scope. In our case, final price is a local variable. It only exists while the function is running. Once the function finishes executing, the local scope disappears. As a result, final price no longer exists. That's why we get the error. So how do we fix this? To make the value available outside the function, we must return it. We can do that using the return keyword. When JavaScript sees return, it sends a value back to where the function was called. So instead of just storing the result inside the function, we return it. When JavaScript runs the function call, the result becomes 80. We can store that returned value in a variable. Let's call this variable discounted price. Now we can use it anywhere in the main program. And now everything makes sense. Our function has a single responsibility. It calculates a discounted price and returns the result. The main program decides what to do with that result. You might be wondering, why doesn't JavaScript just keep everything in one global space? The reason is simple: to avoid bugs. Imagine we already had a global variable called final price set to 500. If functions could freely modify global variables, our function might accidentally override it with 80. That would create confusing and unpredictable bugs. So instead, JavaScript creates a separate local scope for each function. This allows functions to create their own variables without affecting variables elsewhere in the program. And finally, let's summarize how a function works in JavaScript. When a function is called, arguments are assigned to parameters. The function body executes line by line. Local variables are created inside scope. A value can be returned using the return statement. And once execution is complete, the local scope is destroyed. As you continue learning JavaScript, you'll use functions constantly. So understanding how they really work behind the scenes will make you a much stronger JavaScript developer.